What is up, guys? Tech Asian back here again for another video. Back onto this daily grind. Alright, so what are we doing today? We're doing parameters. So you might be asking yourself, what are those? Well, I'm not sure myself either. But today's exercise should be pretty good. There's a lot of more interesting things now. We're going into deeper depths of Python where like we're starting to use libraries and we're starting to do other things. So you might not have an idea what that means, but you'll have a sort of an idea at the end of this video. But let's start by opening VS Code or your Python IDE, and we'll jump right in. So if I can type, of course. Alrighty, let's open it up. So basically, what we're gonna do is pass variables to a script. So a script is basically your Python file. So you're basically just passing variables to a Python file. So some people call it a library, some people call it modules. So basically, you'll get a sense of it once we get started. So we're gonna close all from yesterday. Okay, and let's close all these tabs that I have. We'll go through a quick review of yesterday and what we learned. So within that, if you use the input function, you can get the user to, or whoever's entering it, to enter like your questions. So you could make a game out of this. So you could have people like input a value and then calculate stuff. And if you use the if statements that we'll get into later on, but like yesterday we did some if statement, just like that one cool if statement. And if you do use that, you could create a game. So like someone could die if someone's like values. You can make a simple game like one of those choice games where you enter like a value. So you enter one of the choices and what happens. But yeah, we're not into that depth yet, but it's just food for thought if you want to start creating a game. But we also learned how to do end equals, which creates puts in the same line. So puts the previous line in the same line. So that was also pretty good, pretty cool. And yeah, first things first, let's create another file for today. We're going to call it parameters.py. And let's get started. So first line, we're going to call it from sys import arg. So basically, from system, you import an argument. And basically, importing is how you add stuff to there. So you're just bringing all these features in. And you're bringing in a certain amount of features. So you're going to have to set what this argument value equals. When you hover over it, it says a list. So it's going to be a list of values. And then if you want to read through this, and this module provides access to some objects used or maintained by the interpreter and to functions that interact strongly with the interpreter. But all right, besides that, let's start by writing script, comma, first, second, third equals argv. All right, so what this does is argv is basically the argument variable. So it's a very standard name that you can find in other programming languages as well as Python. And it holds the arguments that you pass on to your Python script when you run it. So basically, this line basically unpacks it, and then it unpacks the argument variable. So rather than holding all the arguments, it gets assigned 4 variables that you can set values in. But yeah, so let's print the rest of the lines. So print the script is called blank, comma script. So we're just going to assign these values. Your first variable is first print your second variable is blank second. Okay. And oops, second, and then print. Oh my god, I'm typing really poorly right now, but that's besides the point. So your third variable is, and then you put third, your value third. All right, so let's run this and let's see what happens. Not enough values to unpack. Expected 4, got 1. Well, that's awfully odd. Let's see. There is 4 values. Let's see what I'm doing wrong. So basically, we're trying to. This is supposed to. Let's see what it says. You know what? We're gonna take another pause again this video. I'm sorry. But I'll come back when I figure it out. Alrighty guys, we're back again. Alright, that took a while, but I finally figured it out. So the thing with scripts and everything in this problem, and how this had no values and everything. So now in this case, when we start running a program, we have to pass 3 values in our command line or it won't run. So what this means is that when you're trying to pass values into, when you're trying to input from your system and these values, and it keeps saying that there's 4 and there's only 0 right here in the errors that you keep getting if you just run it normally. So what you need to do right here is you're going to have to click the stop button right here, and then you're going to have to go down to your terminal, and it should open directly into where your file is located. So my whole folder is called first exercise, and then right here you just type Python, and then you type your file name. So mine's called parameters.py. And then what you have to do now is you have to pass the variables that you've used. So you have to pass first, second, and third in there, or else. And then now it prints out, your script is called parameters.py. Your first variable is this, this, and this. So that's how you get it to pass the different variables into it. So how this first becomes first, and how this second becomes second, third becomes third. All right, so there's you can also do different things as well, such as passing values in. So let's say I want to do like Python parameters.py. Instead of first, second, third, I do, let's say, foods. So let's say pizza, hot dog, and what else? What's another food? I I don't know. Why can't I think of foods right now? Jeez. Let's say spaghetti. Let's say spaghetti. And if we pass them, it does appear pizza, hot dog, and spaghetti. So, that's how you do it. You just pass different values to first, second, and third, and they appear on like this. And script is gonna be your the file name. So whatever your file is, script is what it's gonna be called, and script will automatically get that value. So let's do another one. Let's say let's try to see if we can get an error. So instead, let's say I make the mistake of saying Python parameters.py, and I just say pizza and let's say a calzone. And if we print that, it's gonna say not enough values to impact, expected 4, I only got 3. And then again, when I was getting that error from above, saying I think it was expected 4 got 0, or was it 1? Let's run this again. Yeah, so expected 4 got 1. So it got the script value because that's essentially the file name, so it's going to get that. But if we don't pass first, second, and third, these values will be nothing, and that will cause this to be a value error. And that's basically the same error we got here. Value error, not enough values to unpack, expected 4 got 3. So essentially, I gave it 2 extra values. So script is already the defaulted value, so you're already going to get that value. But yeah. Let's say if we got another input. So combine input with argument to make a script that gets more input from a user. So another thing I wanted to mention is features, but no one calls them features. It's modules. So basically, you're adding features to your program, but the real name is called modules, and we import them. And if like I say you want to import to the system module, then you're gonna use imports from system import blank. And these are also called libraries, but we're going to stick to modules in this case. I might use them interchangeably. I apologize beforehand, but yeah. Let's set some more. Let's combine what we learned yesterday and what we did today, and then I'll end the video. This took it's taking pretty long. So let's see. Let's say what do I want to do? So let's say yesterday it says how old you are. How do I want to do this? So should I have the user input whatever the first, second, and third value is? So let's say input, yeah, let's say first equals, let's do that. First equals that input, and we'll move this all the way up here. Second equals input, and third also equals input. So it won't say what value to put in, but let's just run this. So yeah, let's input a first value. So we'll say 15, 14, and 19, these random values. These values, well, that's a shame. Let's say Python parameters dot py first, second, and third. And then we can type our values in now. And I believe that should work. Oh, no, it doesn't. So, well, that's something to note. So, like, even though I said I'm passing first, second, and third, these values into the print statements right here, even though I write first equals this input, second equals that, third equals this input, it really doesn't even take into account those inputs. So what if I move these down here and give them a go? So let's see Python parameters dot py second, third, first, second, and third. Oh, I typed that wrong. Okay, well, py first, second, third, and then let's type in some values. All right, there we go. That's odd, but like not really. So I believe what I'm doing right now is it's conflicting with the different values, but like at the same time it doesn't know how to solve it, so it's just gonna put whatever input value, whatever code comes first. So when this was at the top, it's gonna use this and just print those in sequential order. Even though it's assigning numerical values there, it's still only gonna print those words because it's a variable. But like when we put it down here and then you start inputting your variables, then it uses the nearest variable in here. So yeah, just something to note. I'm not really sure what this really means, but I guess we're going to get more sense of this as we go on, and tomorrow's lesson should teach us even more about these imports and argument values and everything. And yeah, it's kind of a clunky video today. I apologize, but hopefully tomorrow will be better, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.